Hello, I'm Kane, one of the researchers at WWT, and in the last episode we said goodbye to the old swan link hide. Today we're presenting from the new viewing platforms that look over the Mere. Welcome to another episode of Martin Mere's Wildlife Weekly. In the UK, we've got three species of swan. The first is the resident species, the mute swan that you can see on your local parks and gardens, and the other two species are migratory. The hooper swans, as we've already discussed, they come from Iceland, and the northwest European population of Buick swans, which migrate all the way to us from the Arctic Russian tundra. Very occasionally we see another swan species, and that is the black swan, and this species isn't native to the UK. It doesn't migrate here. Instead, it belongs in Australia. There's now a feral population out in the UK, and we've been lucky enough to have one arrive here on the Mere, and they seem to like hanging around with flocks of hooper swans, and it's been out there for the last few days, so why don't you try coming down and try and spot this rarity. Winter is one of my favourite months here at WWT, and that is because further north from us something really special is happening. Up in Iceland it's starting to get colder, it's starting to get darker, and the snow's starting to arrive and the northern lights are out. This is the cue for the hooper swans that spend the winter here at Martin Mere to get on their way. It's their cue to start their migration, and just 2 weeks ago we welcomed the first arrivals of hooper swans, and now we've got about 500 out on the reserve. We're expecting more to arrive in the coming weeks. And who can blame them for coming to Martin Mere when there's free food around? Every day throughout the winter at 3 p.m. and 3:30 we feed the swans, which allows our visitors to get even closer to these magnificent birds. Amongst them is one special swan that we ringed here about 2 years ago in the company of BBC Northwest Tonight. The bird has a yellow ring on its left leg, which can be read as NWT. If you're here at Martin Mere and happen to be watching the swan feeds, do watch out for this special swan. We've already welcomed back the large flocks of pink-footed geese here at Martin Mere. We've got around about 30,000 on the reserve at the moment, and autumn is one of the busiest times of my year. I spend the first few weeks of October on the road looking for flocks of pink-footed geese, and this is so I can try and help other researchers here at WWT in determining how well the pink-footed geese have bred in Iceland this year. So we find a flock of pink-feet and we need to work out which are adults and which are juveniles, and you can do this by looking at the feather characteristics of each individual. Juveniles have got more scalloped, smaller feathers along the wing bar, where adults have got these bigger, much bigger square, nice rounded feathers, which allows us to tell the difference. Once all these counts have been added up together, we can then work out how well their breeding season has gone, and this forms part of WWT's monitoring in order to try and work out whether the species is increasing or whether the population is declining. We were lucky enough to fit a GoPro to our tower to do a time lapse of 48 hours worth of movements on the Mere. It's quite spectacular, and we thought we'd share this with you here. If you've enjoyed this episode of Wildlife Weekly, then do share us with your friends and family on Twitter and Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. For more information about Martin Mere and our work, then visit our website